Hi everyone, this is Marc Trompeter, unofficial mayor of Jersey City and local realtor. I'm here today to talk about a topic that everyone in a lifetime has had to do, moving. Today I have my friend Mark from Alpha Moving. They're here local in Jersey City, but they do every state in the United States. We were just having a conversation. I said, Mark, what's the average American move? How many times in their lifetime? Because trust me, I have moved almost 12 times in my lifetime and helped many friends up walk-ups and everything, and I just wipe my hands from moving.
No more, done.
So you're the expert. Mark, big question. Why is it important to use a moving company and not your Uncle Joe who says, I'll be there on a Saturday at 10 a.m. and you give him beer and pizza? Why should people use a professional?
So number one, I think it's very important to use a professional moving company as opposed to your friends and Uncle Joe, because the moving company will show up. That's number one. Number two, I mean, look, you're moving heavy items on your own. You have your friends there. Usually it's in a 5th story, 6th story walk up. You know, things are gonna get damaged, things are gonna get broken. Your friends will give up in the middle of the move and leave you hanging dry. I mean, those are the basic things that happens when you don't hire a moving company.
Right. And moving companies are insured with the buildings. A lot of buildings, you need proper insurance.
That's correct, yes. You have to have the proper insurance for the buildings, you know, up to, I believe, $5 million insurance policy to protect floors, walls, you know, any type of, you know, entity that's in the building.
Trust me, in my previous building where I lived, people secretly moved in and that, and they destroyed the walls and everything in the hallways, and they got fined.
Right, of course.
And they would say, I didn't do this, but they did.
But they did it.
Yeah. So, but what about the insurance part of their property? Because people, they may have that baby grand piano.
Of course.
And it's probably worth a lot of money.
Right.
What do you do to actually calm the client down, and what steps and...
Okay, so this is the law in moving when it comes to insurance. Moving company is only required to give $1 per pound.
Okay.
Which is not fair.
No.
But that is the law in moving, and that's determined by the Department of Transportation. So if this table weighs 100 pounds and God forbid it's damaged beyond repair, you're getting $100 for it.
Gotcha.
So we work with a third party, called movinginsurance.com. They offer full replacement coverage, and it's backed by a large insurance company. I think it's Lloyd's of London. So you can take out a policy for the whole shipment, or you can pick and choose what you want to insure and for how much, and you pay a certain amount for that policy, and then you have a real insurance policy. So this is something that we urge people to do. We also urge them to check with their homeowner's policy, because some do cover for moving, but these are the basic options that we push people to, because otherwise $1 per pound doesn't cover anything.
Gotcha. I heard that your company has other services that a lot of the community are not aware of.
Correct.
And can you share some of those other services that the company does?
Of course. We try to stand out from the crowd, and part of that is the additional service. A lot of moving companies are just, you know, they move you. It's moving, it's storage, and that's the way they look at it, as just a moving company. We like to look at it as something bigger and different. So we work with a lot of staging companies, as well as design companies, where we do actual inventory management and accept all of the deliveries for their project and barcode it, digital image everything, put it into our system, and then when the project is ready, we deliver it to the actual home where the project is being done. We'll put everything together, we'll do installations, working with the designer and the stager, and just doing the project from A to B. Gotcha.
We talked about earlier, before we started filming, about last minute. A lot of times when a home is supposed to close on a Monday, but it doesn't, it gets pushed back to Wednesday.
Correct.
And I'm sure these people are calling you up going crazy, what do I do with my furniture? How does your company handle a situation like this?
So this is a common scenario, you know, people's closings get delayed, or, you know, they don't coincide, so they have to, you know, they have a 2-day, 1-day, 3-day, whatever the case is, window where they homeless, so to speak. We can store it in our truck for up to a couple of days.
Good. For peace of mind.
Them. Yeah, of course.
Gotcha.
And then if it's for longer term, we can hold it in our storage for a month for free, or if they need it longer, we can keep it there as long as it's needed, and then we deliver it when they're ready for redelivery.
Perfect. So one of the biggest things is people always ask when I recommend Alpha Moving, how much does it cost? Like, that's the biggest thing. Take us step by step, like, what does Alpha Moving do when they go to the house and they take an estimate, and is there any insurance and all that
Okay,
stuff?
so there is a process, when you're contacting a moving company. Number one, don't use a mover that will just take an inventory over the phone because it's extremely inaccurate. Don't go with a mover that just tells you we have a 2-hour minimum and after that we just charge you by the hour, because at the end of the day, you're going to be hit with all kinds of charges and
So this, not to interrupt you, but this is why moving companies have a bad rap.
Right, and this is how moving companies generally take advantage of people, right? And they want to do this on purpose because it gives them the opportunity. Same thing now with FaceTime estimates. It's something that wasn't done in the past before COVID. Now it's something that's here to stay, and companies are using that. We use it as well as a tool. Some people just still don't want other people in their homes, and I understand that. It's not accurate, let's put it this way. So once a customer contacts us, we send somebody to the home, and the representatives that we have been with us for over 15 years, most of them, and that's a very long time, so they're extremely experienced. So they will go to the home, not just take an inventory, because anyone can do that. It's to build a relationship with the client. It's to learn about them, understand what it is that they're concerned about, talk to them a little bit. If they have kids there, play with the kids, play with the dog. The routine.
You sound like a real estate agent.
But
you know that, right?
But that's what you do. That's what I did, and that's what my people do when you go to people's homes. It's if you love meeting people and taking care of people, and you truly want to help people, this is part of the sales process.
About repeat business.
Exactly, correct. But we go there. It's not just to play with the dog and play with the children. We go there to seriously talk to the client, understand their needs, understand their concerns. We'll sit down and plan out the move for them, explain everything in detail to them, and basically they have a single contact that will walk them through the rest of the process of the move, and that's how we do things.
Good. Now, in real estate, we have a lot of funny stories, horror stories, whatever. Is there anything that's funny or that you love telling the story? Because I love telling stories.
A lot of funny stories. I would say the most interesting thing I ever was involved in was a move that took 30 days. It was the owner of a full building on Bowery Street in the city. He was a very famous photographer. His name is Jay Maisel. He bought it in 1966, the year before I was born, for less than $1 million. And then about 15 years ago, he sold it for close to $80 million.
Good for him.
Great investment. And that took 30 days to do. It was 5 floors. It was 3 floors of his studio and his artwork and his everything. And he was also a collector, so he had a floor of, I can't even begin to tell you what the collection was. It was buttons, it was screws, it was like all these weird types of collections.
Over 50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And then the top 2 floors was where he lived with his wife and daughters. And it took us 30 days to move him out of there into our storage.
Wow.
And we were there, I was there with another sales rep at the time, every single day we came. Because this guy was just such a nice gentleman and such a fun person and interesting person to be around that we made it our business. And it's also part of our motto is to visit jobs, but 30 days in a row is obviously excessive. But we made it our business to be there every day because it was very emotional for him too. He lived there for so long, his work, his life, his legacy was in that building. So we wanted to be there every day for a couple of hours to make him feel comfortable. And he was a character. He was just constantly joking around. He had a basketball court on the first floor. The guy was in his 80s with knee braces, playing basketball every morning when we got there. One of the days it was snowing, we shoveled the sidewalks for him.
Go the distance.
You go the distance. You know, you have great clients.
This is what we
exactly,
need to do.
That's what you do.
Gotcha.
So that was probably one of the most interesting things I've done.
Gotcha. Well, like everyone else, realtors, we work 24 hours, and this man does too.
Definitely,
I
yes.
call him, he picks up the phone. If not, he gets back to you within 5 minutes, which is very necessary with people buying and selling because they're emotional and they want something to be relaxed. And Marc and Alpha Moving is an amazing company. They're local also, and they have a special promotion, 10% off, and 1 month free storage for all your furniture if you don't move on time. So better give this guy a
So
chance.
move on time.
I think. But thank you very much.
Thank
for
you very
today.
much. Thank you. I appreciate it, Mark.